Good morning, everybody. It's, of course, Mrs. Chapman down here in the Student Services Department, ready for your Wellness West tidbit. So, we're going to talk a little bit about peer pressure. And I know we often think of peer pressure as not a good thing. And I want to challenge the thinking for just a little bit and kind of discuss just for a few minutes that peer pressure can be both good and not so good, right? So, when you think about maybe making good decisions, right? Especially as you get older, the people that you are around, tend to influence the things that you might do or the things that you might say. So let's think about, we have a test on Wednesday and your group of friends decided it's really important that you study, that you all study for this test that's coming up on Wednesday. So a little pressure to do the right thing can be a really good thing. And when you think about other things like sports or playing an instrument, if the kid next to you is practicing a lot and you're hanging out with that person, right, it might help to influence you to do the right thing to practice or practice for your sport or practice for your instrument or whatnot. And peer pressure, of course, can help us to make decisions that aren't really good for us too. So the question is how do you, still do the right thing when you want to do the right thing and the people around you are not doing the right thing? So I think that gets a little tricky, right? It's easy to watch other people make bad decisions and say, oh, I'm not going to do those things, right? It's not good for me. That wouldn't be very nice to say that mean thing to that other person, right? But when it's your friends and somebody that you care about, how hard is it to kind of go against the grain, right? I often pose this question to my own kids at home, right? So you see somebody walking down the hall, kids are not being very nice to that person, and you are kind of there. So, how do you do the right thing? And what is the right thing, right? The right thing would be to say something to your friends like, hey, I like this friendship. You and I are cool. I really respect you most of the time, but, what happened in the hall, I don't want to be a part of that, right? Better yet, would be to tell your friends to knock it off right in front of that other student, right? How would that be? That'd be hard for you, but boy, imagine being that student in the hallway that other kids aren't being nice to. When you stand up and just say your friends, say it in a cool way, not in an old lady Mrs. Chapman way, but knock it off, not cool, don't do that. That does two things. It kind of sets up your own boundaries of what you'll tolerate as a human being, but it also tells that other student, even if you don't know them, even if you don't like them very much, even if whatever, right? It tells that other student, hey, you're human too, you have feelings, and you know what? I don't think like the people that I'm, hanging around. Peer pressure is one of those things that can be really difficult for young people to navigate. But I just want you to think about how it can be used in a good way, right? A little pressure to do the right thing is not a bad thing, right? So just be thinking about that as you guys are moving up to seventh grade or moving on to eighth grade. And as you get older, kind of figuring out what kind of human being you want to be. And I certainly believe that who we are, our character, is the most important thing about us. How hard we work, our grit, our perseverance, and how kind we are or unkind we are to our fellow human beings. All right, so I hope you guys have a great week. Those of us in Student Services wish you a very sparkly week, and it will be spring break next week. So I'm super excited for that. Although we will miss seeing your smiling faces, we also wish you a really happy, healthy, and safe spring break. All right, see you in April. Have a great day.